Hey everyone, this is Tony.
And this is Pam.
And welcome to week 20 of Back to Basics Weight Loss Surgery channel.
This week's topic is to tell or not to tell. That is the question.
That is the question. So, am I going first?
Sure, I'll let you since I went first the last 2 times.
All right, I'm going first. Okay, so I initially kept my weight loss surgery sort of a secret. I told my close family, told my close friends, maybe a few people at work, but not many. Fortunately, at my job, there was a girl who had weight loss surgery prior to me having it, so she sort of blazed the trail, and most people didn't have anything negative to say, but I just wasn't really prepared to sort of spill all the beans just yet. So I think my primary concern was with people, not so much of their opinion of weight loss surgery, but trying to dissuade me from having it. You know, one of my friends who I told, she told me a story about a guy who had a gastric bypass, and within 6 months he was dead because he force-fed himself, and he ripped his, she said it ripped his stomach open or something. But so I was like, hey, great, that's great. I won't do that. Have mine.
Make sure I don't follow those directions.
Yeah. So for the most part, I had pretty, the few people I did tell, I had pretty good reaction to it. However, once I got about a year out, well, let me go back. When people would obviously notice that I'm losing a lot of weight, and those who I've worked the same place for 10 years now, so some of the people who have been there longer have seen me lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. So they've been sort of on the yo-yo thing with me. So when I first came back, I was gone for a month. When I first came back, you lost some weight. I'm like, yeah, I did, blah, 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 blah. Everybody thought I had something really wrong with me because I was gone for a month and I'd lost all this weight. I assured everyone that I wasn't dying, but I had lost some weight. And then, as I lost more, of course, people would ask me, what are you doing? I say, well, I'm doing lots of exercise. I'm doing a high-protein, low-carb diet, which is not untrue, right? Not untrue.
It's not.
I just had left out the bit about bariatric surgery. Again, because I really didn't care or want anybody's opinions on it. Of course, we always have the argument, we took the easy route. You know what? Nothing about this is easy. We've got this tool and that helps, but damn sure isn't easy. But about a year after having my surgery, I ended up going on our local CBS affiliate here in St. Louis with my surgeon's office. So
Cat was out of the bag.
Kind of had to come out, didn't I? So after that, I sort of became an advocate for weight loss surgery, and I think is because I felt successful at it. I had gotten to a size that I wanted to be. I felt like I had accomplished my personal goals. So since I had accomplished what I felt, not necessarily somebody else felt was successful, but what I felt was successful, I felt open to talk about it. And at that point, really didn't care about anybody else's opinion because I I reached the goals that I had set for myself. So, you know, I'm patting myself on the back, and I was cool with it, you know. So that, so going on television, I had to sort of talk about it. Ended up putting it on my Facebook link, and you know, sort of letting the world know. In a way, it's been beneficial because I've had quite a number of people who, and even people who are acquaintances of mine, you know, at work or at church, sort of pull me to the side and say, well, hey, tell me more about this. You know, you look great, you know, you seem like everything's going well. So, in a way, letting people know has really helped me help other people. And I still run into situations where I see people who are really heavy and they look like they're struggling, and sort of, I want to run up to them and evangelize and be like, hey, I know this great thing and it worked for me, and maybe you should give it a try or at least look into it. But, you know, you can't do that with everyone. You can't say, hey, you know what, you're pretty fat, you should have surgery. I mean, that wouldn't go over really well, would it? No.
I don't think so.
But I don't mean it from a mean place. I mean, I really want to share my experience with people, you know, it's from a good place, you know, but of course to strangers it's not going to come across as having good intent, so I just sort of keep my mouth shut. But anyway, but yeah, I'll tell anybody, you know, if I happen to strike up a conversation with somebody, I will tell them about it. I will, you know, share the benefits and the risks and you know, the whole story. So, and obviously since I'm doing YouTube videos with this one over here, obviously I'm going public about it. But you know, what's more public than YouTube? So, and speaking of being public with YouTube, hi Julie, my friend who I ran into at the doctor's office.
Not Julie, it's Jessica.
I thought it was Julie.
It's Jessica.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jessica. I was in a sinus infection haze when I met you, so sorry for botching your name, but.
And we realize you live probably a couple blocks from us. I think she lives in the Manors.
Oh, cool.
It's only a couple blocks from us.
Okay.
So
maybe we'll have to, you know, get together sometime. Mm-hmm. But anyway, nice meeting you. Speaking of being public.
Tony had his first celebrity sighting at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So
how about you?
Turn?
It's your turn. I'm done.
Well, everybody knows I'm a chatty Cathy.
Right.
My life's an open book. This is me. Take it or leave it. I don't hide anything, and I don't sugarcoat anything. When I had my lap band surgery, I worked in HR at a hospital. And the reason I got to learn about the lap band surgery was because I was the FMLA administrator. So here are all these people coming in and giving me paperwork, telling me how they're going to be off of work. And I'm reading the paperwork to make sure I have everything. And I'm seeing like this stream of people seeing the same doctor and having the same surgery. So I got up enough nerve to ask someone about it, and she shared her experience with me, which I was lucky that she was open enough. Not that I wasn't reading everything that Dr. Minkin had written on the paper.
You're all up in people's business.
Hey, I did FMLA. It was my business to be up in that business. Make sure they were compliant. Oh. So she shared with me. I scheduled my surgery within 3 months of that conversation. I think in my excitement of watching all of these people who I did their FMLA for them, watching them lose, and then myself starting to lose and caught up in it, I shared with everyone. Everyone who asked, they knew I had lap band surgery and was losing weight. it was important for me to share the people that I worked in the office with. I worked in the HR office at a very large St. Louis hospital. There was only 6 of us in the office. I felt I needed to actually be very open to them about it because, we all ate lunch together. There was always candy all over the place. I mean, we went out on weekends together. My bosses had parties at their house. We did all this together. So I really had to talk to them about it. And I was having a huge problems when I would eat. I would get hiccups really bad. And I know you're going to say, well, that was your soft stop. But it wasn't. When I went to my nutritionist and explained to her, she told me that I needed to shut up during lunch and
No, that was
not talk while I was eating, and that I was trapping too much air. So again, I had to explain to my teammates in the office what was going on, and that wasn't ignoring them in the conversation, but I had to wait until I was done eating to join the conversation because it was causing a problem with my lap band. So being able to talk to them openly about it and get their support, not a one of them was negative about it. Like I said, we worked in the healthcare industry, so we saw, patients. So just in that setting alone, people were more empathetic. And because of the number of individuals in the hospital that were having bariatric surgery, it was just a big thing around the hospital, so everybody was kind of used to it. As far as people outside of that, my closest friends knew. I will tell you, my best friend, her first reaction was, what do you need that surgery for? Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow, but I just kind of said, this is what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. Thank you for your opinion. I'll take it to heart, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. Because, you know what? Everybody has an opinion, and you have to do what's best for you, so you can't
come on, say the real thing.
Opinions. I said like it or lump it.
No.
Opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one. That's how my daddy raised me. Sorry. So, as far as my family went, I did not tell my family. I live 330 miles away from my family. I told none of them. Until the day before surgery, I felt like, what if something happens? Because of my cancer history, I was worried that they were going to open me up for my lap band, and it was possible that they could find something. So I thought, I have to pick a family member, and I have to tell them what's going on, just for the sheer fact if something happens. So I told my sister-in-law. She was very supportive of me. My siblings have all been married for several years. They're all several years older than me. So my sister-in-laws pretty much know me since I was a very small child. So I told her. Nothing was ever said about it. My uncle passed away 3 weeks later, and I had to make a trip to Chicago. I had just started my mushy stage. So let me just explain. When I go home to Chicago, it was about pizza, gyros, Italian beef sandwiches, and more pizza. Oh, and Portillo's hot dogs. I had to come out of my closet to my family because when I got there at the funeral home for my uncle was 2 very large pizzas on the table, and I just burst out in tears. I had to play it off that I was, crying for another reason, but at the end of the night, I had to explain to my family, and at the luncheon, I had to explain to more family and family friends, because why aren't you eating? So, it became all of that. There were some pushback because of being only 3 weeks after surgery. You really couldn't tell a big difference. I had dropped 32 pounds, but because I was so large when I had surgery, 32 pounds really didn't look like shit, let's be honest. So they really couldn't tell. Now, I went home at 6 months post-op, I had been down 80 pounds, and pretty much everybody could tell then. And everyone was very supportive then. It was for my brother's 50th birthday. Of course, it was at a pizza place. My sister-in-law was very nice about it. She had told the owner that I would need to pick out something else beyond the pizza that she had planned, because I had special dietary needs. So, my family has been supportive because of everything they know I've gone through. I think I've always been very open about my journey. Like Tony said, I am a spokesperson on our bariatric surgeon's website. So my picture's out there, plain as day. If you go on the website, you'll see me. So it wasn't like I could hide a lot, because every once in a while when there is a seminar on our side of the river here, I'm in the newspaper. There's a newspaper ad, and it's me and another guy who lives in the area. So I really can't hide that. But I just think as the further I get out, the less I express to people what I had, because at this point, at 3+ years out, it is a lifestyle change, and it's not so much about my lap band. As Tony said, when people ask, what are you doing? It's about, I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle, I'm exercising, and, oh, by the way, I have bariatric surgery to help me manage these things. It's not so as in the beginning where I was gung-ho, tell everybody. But all that being said, I think telling and not telling is a very, very personal choice for you. Yeah. It is what you are comfortable with. A lot of people...
And you know your circumstances.
Right. If you have all those naysayers in your life that are going to come back to you with negativity, whether you're comfortable or not. I mean, that it really, truly is a personal choice. And only you know what's right for you. Only you know who you can tell and who you can't tell. I can tell you for a fact, it was easier for me to talk to strangers about it than it was those closest to me. Because those closest to me and what they had to say about it was going to hurt far worse than what any stranger could say to me, because I'm not going to see that stranger probably ever again. But the people personally in my life, those are the people that I'm going to see often and continue to hear what they have to say about it. So that's what I got to say.
And that's what I got to say.
So there you go.
That's it.
Do you tell? Do you not tell? Tell us. Make us a video response. Tell us what you think of the subject. Tell us how you handled it when you had surgery. And, by the way, we're looking for topics. Send us a message. Let us know if there's other topics you'd like to have us cover. Yeah. And we'll go from there.
Something you'd like us to do. Like...
Tony's going to dance for you.
And Pam's going to do tricks on her bike.
Not. You're lucky Pam can stay upright on her bike. Tomorrow, Janine will have a boatload of things to say to you. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it will be dynamic. And then join us Friday for a surprise vlogger. Ooh. One never knows who might show up. You didn't even tell me. It's a secret. If I told you, then I'd have to kill you.
Oh, okay.
And then what would I do without you?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to live.
I know.
That's all we got, peeps.
All right. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Peace out. Damn, we said a mouthful.
19 minutes worth. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought we had anything to say?